Jim McCue from SportStars magazine. I'm here with Pete Saco, the outgoing Sac-Joaquin Section Commissioner. Pete is just the third commissioner in the section since it was formed in 1942, and he oversaw the growth of the Sac-Joaquin Section from 115 schools to 195 schools and from 3 divisions to the current 7-division format during his 21 years that he was there. Mr. Saco also instituted several programs, awards, scholarships, and established the Sac-Joaquin Section Hall of Fame. And he was also instrumental in the creation of the CIF State Bowl games to determine the state football champion. And first of all, just thank you so much for welcoming us into your home and for sharing some time with us tonight, Pete.
Thank you, Jim. It's my honor to have you guys here tonight.
When you first took on the job of Section Commissioner, did you envision that you'd be in the job for as long as you have been?
That's a great question. I really had no idea. Really had no idea what I was getting myself involved with, and I really had no idea where my career was going to go at that time.
What accomplishments during your tenure as commissioner bring you the greatest satisfaction or joy?
Well, you know, we accomplished a lot, Jim, and first of all, I worked for a great board of managers, which represents the 27 leagues. But I think the expansion and the growth of our section was a huge accomplishment. I don't think people really understand that, you know, at one point we're 125, 130 schools. We grew a little bit in the late 90s, and then about 2002, 2003, when we had the huge growth spurt, we actually added, if I'm not mistaken, 20 schools within 3 years. So there was an explosion, and we went from 3 divisions to 4 divisions to 5 divisions to the current 7 divisions. So as I look back, that was an absolutely huge accomplishment, just the growth, because it's all about kids. It's all about kids winning championships and handing them a banner and handing them their patch, and that's, you know, really what it's all about. But other accomplishments, the Hall of Fame, something I always wanted to do, and Will DeBoard has helped make that happen. Our office, we built a brand new office from scratch, and we bought the property. The schools, our member schools bought the property, but I initiated it. You know, we laid plans, our board approved it, and we're able to put a new building in place, which is great for our membership. So now we have a home. It's in Lodi. Our meetings are there, and it's really the home of our section. I think the scholarship program we've put together is by far, I think, one of the best, you know, if not in the United States, on the West Coast. We have foundation basketball games and volleyball games, and 50% of that money goes toward the scholarships. And plus, we have sponsors: Crystal Creamery, Les Schwab, CSEA is a big sponsor of that. So the last 5 or 6 years now, we've given out $35,000 to $40,000 in scholarships, and then we're able to bring the kids together, bring their parents together, have a breakfast, have them recognized, and there's no greater joy than seeing one of my reps put a medal around a young man or young lady's neck and have mom and dad cry, share a tear. So it's all good, and that's really a result of our member schools supporting it. And I want to acknowledge our officials. They've helped make that work because they donate their time for the foundation games. So those are a couple of the section accomplishments. I think when we look statewide, our big push for football, which is a story into itself, was a tremendous accomplishment, and hopefully that will even expand more in the years to come.
Do you have any regrets or decisions that you wish that you had a chance to reconsider?
Do I have any regrets? No, I think sometimes you maybe you'd like to take a different look at some eligibility decisions you made in certain situations, but not really. I think the great advantage to this job is when you're a basketball coach, which I was, you have 45 seconds to make a decision in between a timeout. And some of those I regret when we came out of a timeout. As commissioner, you know, you could sit on it for a day, even a week, you know, work with your board, work with key people. So I can't really say I have.
What was the most difficult part of being commissioner?
The most difficult part of being commissioner is the enforcement of our rules. You know, I live and breathe our Constitution and bylaws, and this day and age, specifically in the last 5 to 7 years, we have a lot of new principals and new athletic directors. 25% of our principals and ADs rotate every year now. So we're constantly training people. And there's a misperception out there about our rules. You know, sometimes people don't understand them. So here I'm in the office trying to enforce a rule, and then you have to explain it not only to mom and dad, but to the principal and the athletic director sometimes doesn't quite know it. But it has to happen, but it can be difficult at times.
Okay. What was the most rewarding aspect of being a section commissioner? You talk about putting the ribbons around kids' necks. And
Yeah, you know, it's kind of funny. It's probably why I got into this line of work. I date myself back to when I was in college as a recreation leader at a park, but I get great joy in running tournaments and running an event. And, you know, you could take a look at our football or basketball, or it could be a sport that isn't as high profile. It could be a water polo, or it could be a tennis. But watching the tournament come to fruition, watching it play out, seeing the games played, seeing the finals played. I mean, let's talk football or basketball, being it whether it's Sleep Train or Sac State or the early part of my tenure at University of Pacific, and watching that game come together, play that game, have the award ceremony, and see it was played fairly and it was done the way we wanted it done.
are there any particular athletes or coaches that have a special place with you, or particular events that stand out during your time as section commissioner?
Yeah, you know, there's a couple. I think you got to go back to, you really have to take a look at even what's happened beyond our section, but Mike Albergini's team that won the state 2008, 2009, that whole issue and getting them in that game and what they did in their game with Long Beach Poly, scoring in the fourth quarter was a great win. I think the Escalon team that with Mark Lorero, who is being inducted in our Hall of Fame this August, Mark and his dad both are, and him winning that game against I think Madison of San Diego, and then coming home and having a big party in the street at midnight. I mean, that's really what this is all about. You know, we talk about small town football. Well, there was small town football at midnight. You know, as Mark describes it, I wasn't there, but a big party in the street as the team rolled up. We've been blessed with a lot of great coaches. You know, I mean, they come and they go, but we've had solid coaches. Obviously, person that's very important to me was a young man I coached, Todd Reiswig. He was at Elk Grove High School and got the job when I started here in '93 as commissioner, and in '95 or '96 he won the section championship. Probably no greater joy than shaking his hand and grabbing a hug with him when I had to give him the banner. So, yeah, there's more than that, but those are just a couple of